Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Top of the morning, evening, afternoon, and good night to one and all, depending on where you're at in the world. Right? I was gonna say United States. Today, I was actually gonna do the stream over at Twitch, but I decided not to, and decided to come over here and kind of give my opinion on this situation. Because oh, buddy, do I have a lot to say about this? Yep. I got two things that I want to cover. We're gonna cover. Well, it's in the title. It's a little bit of a gray area, but I'm going to enjoy doing this. Which still? Oh, the one where I'm looking up at the sky? All right. So we'll wait a couple minutes till we get some more people over here. I feel like anything political. I was going to put this on the Jay Hayes channel. The problem is with the Jay Hayes channel, it's kind of like reviews of products and like me ripping off my toenail. It's not, as much as I'd like to put this on that channel, this is going to be a different platform entirely. We had tried Rumble last night or yesterday during the day for 4 hours for our Outside of Society stream. It went well. We were able to not hold any. Oh, you like that?
That's a fantastic image. I really like that.
You know, I made that in like what's it called? In Final Cut, not Final Cut, movie maker.
It looks awesome.
I made it in movie maker.
love
It's from this one. This one. There we go. I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had to show that again. Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, yesterday I did Rumble. Rumble isn't bad, but as much as they have little restrictions about what you say, that's not really the best for what we're going to do. Okay. So that's where a lot of I've made up my mind. I know what you're going to say is, well, Jay, you keep switching. No, I don't. It's two platforms, really. It's either Twitch or YouTube. We tried Rumble. We're going back to YouTube. And this is where the channel is going to be right here. This political platform on here. So just a heads up. All right. So let's talk about this. Bree showed me this link this morning, and I've talked about this before. Really more so on the Discord side with hazers or in Zoom, but it's never been really a video per se. And it was a hot topic when this first started coming out because it wasn't so much as a state thing than what it is now. Basically, what it is now is it was more of a federal thing, but I guess that didn't happen, and now it happened for California. Is this it? I think this is it right here. This should put us up on the channel. Yep, this is it. So, California Reparations Panel approves payments of up to 1.2 million. Approves payments. Okay. Are you saying that they could get up to a $1.2 million payment? Where are you getting that money from? To every black resident. California Reparations Task Force formally recommended that the state offer payments of up to $1.2 million to every Whoa. No, we read that right. $1.2, holy shit. The task force held a public meeting in Oakland, California on Saturday and voted on the final set of recommendations to be sent to the state legislatures. The 9-member panel called on the state to offer its black residents a formal apology in addition to the payments. Reparations are not only morally justifiable, so you're saying that money does solve everything. That's what you're saying. Okay. But they have the potential to address long-standing racial disparities and inequalities. Representative Barbara Lee, Democrat, California, said after attending the meeting. The panel's of course, it's a black person. The panel's recommendation breaks payments down by types of historical discrimination. For instance, black residents affected by redlining by banks would receive $3,366 for each year they lived in California from early 1930s to the late 70s. Okay, what? Hold on. '30s to the '70s, early '30s. So we'll say 1930 to 1970s to the late '70s. So we'll say 38. Okay, they got $127,000, amounting up to, well, that says $148,000. I should have just kept reading. Similarly, black residents could receive roughly $23.52 in compensation for policing, and mass incarceration for each year they lived in California between 1970. This is giving me anxiety. Those payments could amount to $115K. In total, from these and other payments included in the plan, a black Californian who is 71 years old and who has lived in California his entire life could receive, what the fuck? Could receive up to $1.2 million. I want to know, is there any white people on this panel? I legitimately want to know. Are there white? And if there are, is it Karen? Is Karen on the panel with these people? Because if I want it, oh my God, I want to see this panel. Receive up to $1.2 million according to an analysis. Oh, Jesus Christ. The panels say, oh, here we go. Oh, there's a white dude back here. The panel's Saturday vote included only recommendations for the state legislature and does not have any legal weight. That's good. That's good. Because if they approve that, you're complaining about homeless people. Let me finish this. Saturday's meeting included an opposition from black residents demanding larger payments. Oh, that's not enough. We need more. We're not 71. We're 40. We want $450,000 just to hold us over because we're black. Nice. An activist identified as Reverend Tony Pierce, is that the same dude on Twitter that's racist as shit, was one of the more outspoken people at the gathering, making references to the famous 40 acres and a mule promised to former slaves when he took the podium. Were you one of the 40? Were you one of the slaves, Mr. Reverend Tony Pierce? Or were you just... What were you in this, like, what part of your family deserved 40 acres and a mule? Sit the fuck down. Shut up. You know that the number should be equivocal to what an acre was back then? We were given 40. Okay, we were given 40 acres. You know what that number is? Let me guess. 40. You keep trying to talk about now, yet you research back to slavery and you say nothing about slavery. Nothing, said Pierce. So the equivocal number from the 1860s for 40 acres today is $200 million for each and every African American. Oh my God. First off, oh Jesus Christ, $200 million per, how many? Okay, oh Jesus, oh my God, this is amping me up. How many black people are in California? Fuck it, let's go. 2.2 million black people. That's in 2020. I don't even know what that fucking number is. Hey Siri, what is 2.2 million times 200 million? Okay, see, I don't even know how to understand what the fuck she just said. 4 to the 14th power. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 fucking zeros. That's $440 trillion? No, that's right. Million, billion, trillion. Yeah, okay. $440 trillion give to the black people. Where you getting that money? Where you get that from? Like, cause we got to do bills to give people 50 billion, like the Build Back Bitch Better program by Biden, fuckface. You got to give. He had to get that shit signed, and you want California out of all the states to pay. This is why I fucking hate this state. Like, it irritates me to know that this is actually happening. Here's the deal, okay? First off, stop. Just stop with the reparations. Worry about the homeless people that are on the street. Black, white, Mexican, it doesn't matter what race they are. Get them off the street. Help fix that. Okay, because you give one of those black people, since it's for black people, I'm not discriminating here, it's part of the thing, okay? You give those black people that are homeless people $1.2 million that are on the fucking street, what do you think they're gonna do with it? You think they're gonna be like, yeah, you know what, I should go buy a house. How I get that next bump, yo? How I get that? That's what's going to happen. It is absolutely unacceptable that you think it's okay. Okay, let me just go back to the article. This is just I'm just getting fucking pissed off. So let's just go back to this bullshit. Most people who spoke at Saturday's meeting spoke in support of reparations. Despite such agreement, however, sparks flew throughout the chaotic, emotionally charged gathering as arguments broke out. Indeed, many attendees spoke out of turn and interrupted each other, leading Camilla Moore, the task force chair, to call for security removed multiple times. What is this fat shit that is on my stream? Like, why do I got McMuffins? Do they know that I got the chubby? I don't have that overhang though. Mine's just stiff, but why is this on here? I don't want to see their belly button. The draft recommended that California entered the Union as a free state in 1850, but said that it did not pass laws at the time to guarantee freedom. The recommendation pointed out that for a decade after emancipation, California continued to allow the enforcement of the Fugitive Slave Act, which called for the capture and return of runaway slaves. Okay. I find it absolutely unacceptable that we're going to make it totally okay to hand out 400. Why doesn't she just give me a number? Why does Siri have to give me a 440 to the 10th power? Look, I took calculus and I don't remember it ever going like that. No, actually calculus did do that. It's algebra that didn't do that. You would say like 4 billion, 4 trillion. You wouldn't say the 33rd power. It sounds like some type of right movement. Here's how I feel about reparations. Look, one argument could be, was America built by the backs of slaves? You'd be real hard pressed to argue that. Okay? Yes, they did do a lot. They did a lot of manual labor. I'm not going to get into the slave trade. I'm not going to get into any of that shit. Although this being a thing that I just hope that once it gets to the state level, because right, that's not state level, even though the California Reparations Plan approves payments of up to, okay, so it's got to go to the state legislature now, and then they vote on it. First off, where are you getting the fucking money from? You're going to say taxpayers. I promise you that California state income tax doesn't even come close to that. This is not federal. It's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about California. So even if you took all your richest people, I don't even know how long it would take for you to get $440 trillion in state tax. I don't know. It's not going to be a year. I'll tell you that much. It also ain't going to be 10 years. $440 trillion. And then just because the color of your skin is going to dictate how big of a payment you get? Okay, so I had to do a little bit of research. I had to think about this. This is what I said to myself. I said, if you take... So we've all been taught this. Anybody that's from the United States, we all heard this before, that Native Americans get a check from the government. I don't, maybe it's just me. I've heard it before. And I wanted to check the validity in this because I said to myself that, versus to somebody else, Europeans took the land away from the Native Americans. Yeah, they let them have their casinos. This is the least that we could do. But those casinos come at a cost. The only thing that they don't have to pay is state tax, but they still have to pay federal tax, just like everybody else does, regardless of your business, regardless of whatever. Indians are not, and when I'm saying Indians, I'm talking about the feather, not the dot. Um, Native Americans still have to pay those same fees. So I pulled up a little link and I said, well, do they get reparations? Because you could always go back to Africa, right? Like, as much as you say you're African American, go back to Africa then if you don't like it here. That America is the best state in the world, or the best country in the world for a black man to succeed. That's proven. Okay, I'm not going to pull up stat sheets and a number PowerPoint presentation for you. That's proven. So I had to pull this up. I wanted to see that what Native Americans received from the government after the white man took it away from the Native Americans. Like, what did they get? And this is what I came up with. So I found this Native American website here. It's 5 Native American funding acts. We're not going to talk about the free housing because we're not talking about giving free housing to ex-slaves. But none of these people are ex-slaves, right? If you're going back to the 1700s, I promise you none of you are alive. American Indian, and let me go back real quick. You know how people say that you should never judge somebody based off of what their history is? For instance, if I was related to Hitler, it would be unfair for people to say that, oh, because Jay's related to Hitler, he's got all these things, or we should judge him and call him a piece of shit because Hitler was his great uncle or great great uncle or whatever. It's funny how people always reference Hitler as the worst when Stalin actually killed, what, 10 times more than he did? So, but I digress. You shouldn't judge somebody based off their past. I just recently went through this with Australia. So we shouldn't judge people based off their past. But when it goes this way, it's okay. Because my great, great, great ancestors, which didn't affect me being born here at all, and having the freedom of this country, I deserve a payment. Bitch, your freedom is the payment. Like, go back to Africa and hang out there and let me know if you prefer that over this. Let me know. Let me know. I know what you're going to say, Jay racist. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm part black myself. Yep, that's a fact, Jack. You want to see it? I can show you my DNA spreadsheet. I got one just like you got a PowerPoint presentation. Now, let's go back to this, shall we? So, over here, American indicator, casino riches. Yeah, we don't care about that. We care about this right here. Pew. Government checks. The Bureau of Indian Affairs, I didn't even know that was a thing, BIA, does not disperse cash to individuals. And contrary to popular belief, the U.S. government does not mail out basic assistance checks to people simply because they are Native American. Many tribal members are veterans or disabled or retired after years of serving as railroad workers, artists, and educators in tribal jobs or in general labor. These people receive VA or disability or Social Security checks from the government as would any other American. Throughout PNWA, a partnership with Native American Service Area, the main forms of government aid seem to be energy assistance and food commodities arising from treaties and connected with the loss of reservation lands and natural food sources. TANF is also available for single mothers, but also requires them to volunteer for 40 hours a week in a supervised work program leading to job placement. Other soldier employees, such as WIC and SNAP, are available on the reservations. These are some of the programs available in Native Americans. Like all Native Americans pay federal income tax on any income they earn, including casino earnings. They do not pay state tax for income earned within reservation boundaries. Okay, so there's no difference of you being on a reservation and you being in Florida or Tennessee. All right, no state tax. Now, so I said to myself, okay, so we took the land, and when I say we, I'm referencing the white man. The white man took the land away from Native Americans, and yet the white man does not pay the red man, if you will, Native Americans. I love how I'm just putting on colors on people. Jay, that's racist. No, it's not. Please educate yourself. The definition of racism. Racism defines me as someone that prefers my race over your race. No, I never said that. Stop putting fucking words in my mouth or making me out worse than what I am. Okay. So if the white man doesn't pay the Native Americans after they took their land, now all is fair in love and war. All is fair. So if that happened, that's kind of it. Okay, you don't get anything. I was under the impression they did get a paycheck. Apparently they don't. So what makes you think if we could take their land away and use it for our own needs, what makes you think because your great, 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 great grandparents, let me see here. Well, you figure at least 3 generations, right? If someone lives to be 100 years old, you're looking at least 3 generations. So your grandparent go 100 years, great grandparent go 100 years, pet, that would be great great grandparent. So your great 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 grandparent was a slave. You get a check. Matter of fact, let's try this again. It ain't got shit to do with slaves. It's got to do with the color of your skin. You saw what I read you. It didn't say, look, it ain't got shit to do with slaves. That's the key. It has nothing to do with it. It's got to do with, look, let me go back to this real quick, okay? They're not going to check on your background. They're not. All they care about. Black residents could receive for over-policing and mass incarceration for each year they lived in California from 1970 to 12. This is not slave. Okay, that's not slave. Neither is this. Neither of those have got to do with slaves. It's just got to do with you being black. Okay, fascinated. So what about slave reparations? What about those people that actually built America? What about those? Nah, they're not in California, so it doesn't apply. I think it's absolutely fascinating that if this gets to the state, and the state, I can't see how the state would approve this. We're talking about $400 trillion. Yo, that is, fuck that. Take off 6 zeros. Just take off 6. And then, I don't see how this makes it okay, but take off 6 of those zeros. Okay, take off 6, and then take that money and help get the. I know what you're gonna say, white people. This isn't fair, but let's just for shits and giggles, let's take that money and then get the black homeless people off the street. Why don't we start there? We could also start with the veterans that are on the street, and we could start with that too if you like. I mean, I feel like that's better off because those are the people that fought for your freedom that you currently fucking have to be able to sleep on the street. So how about we get those people off the street before we worry about black people? No? No, okay, it's not important. I understand. We're going to base it off of the color of the skin, not what you've done, not what you've achieved, not the things that you did for that state, for that country, even if you served in the Nasty Girls. If you don't know what the Nasty Girls is, I suggest you look it up. Even if you served in the Nasty Girls and you helped out with a hurricane, that person deserves more than somebody that just deserves that much because they're black. What about all of that? We're just gonna let them be. Really? Do you know how many veterans are on the streets in California? You probably don't know. I bet you could find a number of how many black people are homeless in the streets in California, though. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you did hear that correctly, Atomizer. They have to volunteer for 40 hours in order to get food stamps or some sort, so something of the sort. Those people that are on the street that serve this fucking country deserve more. Okay, probably, okay. I think the Native Americans deserve more than anybody. Well, we'll start there. If we're going through a pecking order, let's start there. They deserve the most. Why? Because their land was taken. I feel bad. And if you look at the impoverished levels of Native Americans, they're in a bad situation. And it's because of the white man. Like, you're in a bad situation. Really bad. So they should be helped. Agree. And then the next after that should be the veterans. Because the veterans are the people that go to combat because you don't want to. You feel like you're better than that. You like that freedom you have. You want to play on your TikTok. You don't want to be a big boy or a big girl and be an adult and go serve in the military because you're a fucking pussy. That's why. That's the facts of the matter. Sorry, did that offend you? Oh well. Time to get a shovel and get the sand out of your crotch. Unless you're going to pick up a weapon and fight, sit the fuck down and shut up. I don't think anybody deserves reparations. I think everybody should work for what they want, unless of course they can't. And that goes into the Native Americans. Look, there's the guy that did Supersize It. 30 days or something, or 30 work days. He did a thing where he went on an Indian reservation. So sad. And he tried to work, not tried, he stayed there for 30 days doing what they did. And he realized how poor they were and how bad off they were. You're going to say, well, they got casinos. Okay, first off, the casino argument is, I don't even think that's an argument. It's, they still have to pay taxes on it, man. They just don't fucking cash in what they make on a slot machine. It's not just, looks like we cleared 12 million today, so we're just going to take that. No. It's not how that works, okay? So, and that's going to do their whole race? No, man. A casino in Connecticut is not going to help out people of native ethnicity in New Mexico. I promise you it's not. And even if it does, it's not. Even if it does, it's not. So, it's not helping them at all. Worry about your problems here locally. Well, that is worrying about a problem locally. I don't know how the color of your skin, it has nothing to do with race. It's just got to do with the color you are. You could use the argument and say, well, white privilege. It's the definition of black privilege. Okay, but, yeah, well, we could get into this one. And I would argue the fact and say that white people are less likely to serve. If you have a white guy that commits a crime and a black guy that commits a crime, more than likely the white guy will get less of terms. Yes, I will agree with that. But based off statistics alone. If we're looking at numbers, yes, agree. Fine. And what's the cost of freedom? I don't know. Apparently, California feels like it's worth $1.2 million. If you want all this nice shit, wow. Could you imagine if this passes state? What was that number? 1.2 for being 71? What was that number again? Hold on. Where's that number? A black Californian who is 71 years old and has lived in California his entire life could receive up to 1.2 million. How do you even counter that? If that, I don't know how many people they have over. If they have 2.2 million black people in California, every person that's black gets a check? I don't know about that. I don't know, Vaughn, my fellow black man. I don't know about that because look, they were talking about it federally. Remember when they were talking about this a couple years ago? Not even a couple years ago, whatever that was, 2 years ago, and they wanted to do it federally. And then I guess at some point, California was like, let's take it upon ourselves and do it our own. If California is an extremely liberal state, It might. Here's what I think is going to happen. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to get approved, but there's going to be a huge caveat in there. You will not. It will not be 1.2 million. That is ludicrous. I think it would be like 20 grand. I think it will get approved. It's just not going to be the numbers, and it's especially not going to be the numbers of old Tony Pierce over there saying that it should be fucking $200 million. Where you get that money from, bro? Why don't you serve in the military, Mr. Reverend Tony Pierce? Let's talk about, when color of skin does not matter at all, when you're not on American soil and I'm fighting next to you in Iraq or Kuwait or wherever, it doesn't matter, Afghanistan, the color of our skin is fucking irrelevant. It does not matter. It's just somehow in America, it's like that's what matters. We have to worry about diversifying and saying this person's black, this person's white, this person's Mexican. How about they're just fucking people? The color of your skin does not fucking matter. And it specifically doesn't matter if you want to join the military and go fight. Right? They're not going to give a shit. Well, they're going to care about your record, but that's on you. And then you're going to say my record's this way because of the color of my skin. Okay. You chose to break the law, right? Like you weren't forced to rob a bank. I just want to make sure we're clear here. You weren't, because, in the court, you pled guilty. So, unless, of course, you don't agree with what you said, then we don't want liars in the military. So, either way, the color of your skin, it only seems to matter in America when it comes to money or politics. That's it. What the fuck just happened to being human? No. Nah, that don't matter no more. It don't matter no more. It doesn't matter. It don't even matter where you're from. So if you're 7 years old, let me do the math. Hold on. So 1950s, if you were a black person, 1950s, right? 70 years. You do 50 plus 20. Yeah, so 50s. You were born in 55. You're going to get $1.2 million. Okay. Or 52. 1952. Okay. Nice. Congratulations. You just made a retirement fund. At 71. You're lucky if you even live out another 5 more years to pay that. Or to spend that. We're so worried about sending money to these different countries to help find a fucking fish in a Chilean river. Like, that's so important. Or helping out the transgender army in Pakistan. You have and I push this really hard, man. You have veterans on the fucking street. Black, white, Mexican. You pick it. Fix that. The fuck is the problem? Oh, there's not enough of people that care about that. Okay. Okay. Yep. All right, I'm going to move on to the next subject. And then you see why other countries look at this country like a joke. You see. Shit like this makes the news. Granted, this is Fox. And Fox is going to push a lot of liberal stuff, just like CNN will push a lot of anti-Republican stuff. So, I get it, but it doesn't matter. The fact that this is even a thing that people are talking about. I hope that this does not get approved on a state level. That's all I'm saying. And if it does, the problem is too is who's going to stand up. I hate to keep going back into this, but who's going to stand up for those veterans? And I know a lot of you didn't serve. I get that. I understand that. Or maybe some of you did. I know a couple people in here who served. So you could kind of relate to what I'm saying, but it irritates me because nobody gives a shit about them. Excuse me. The governments of the state don't care. The federal government doesn't fucking care. Granted, VA in some states is better than the next. But California, of all places, if you have what, 76 million people there, I want to know how many veterans are on the street out of that 76 million. How many? How many? What was? Let's just take a number and say 20 grand. That is low, but let's just take that number and say 20,000. Help them out. Go give them a take a town, take a piece of shit, take a piece of shit town. You got a lot of land in California. Take a fucking town in California. You had those people that built that bunker, and I think the Nazis, right? That Nazi party in America built a farm in California. Is it California? The Nazi party somewhere southwest built a whole town with a bunker and all this shit for when Nazi came to America. I think it's California. And it's like a bunker with farmland and all this pipes ran for potatoes and shit. So take that, put little dinky little houses on there, little jams, and let them have those houses. There was even a guy that was building houses for homeless people in California. Should stop that. Little trailer jams. Like a one, like a not even. It's like one half a bedroom, but it's got like a sink. He would take like 2x4s and build these and then drop them off. That's unacceptable. Oh, you'd rather? Okay, so you just want them to sleep on the street then? Okay, all right. So I heard today. Actually, I spoke about this yesterday on Rumble with my fellow Belgians and other patriotic American. So two downvotes. Is that from the two people that are from California that are over the 71 years of age that want that $1.2 million check? Shut the fuck up. Get out. So I heard about this yesterday. Someone had mentioned this. I think it was John had mentioned this. I don't know if he's in here. The how the Democrats are not going to have a debate. So when Trump re-ran a second time, there were other presidents that were running, I think two, but they were really no threat to Trump, and the Republican didn't have debates as well for when Trump ran a second term. And it kind of makes sense because you're taking the incumbent president and you don't want them to compete. The only problem I have with this, with the Democratic side, is there you are, John. The only problem I have about, and this is true, the only problem I have with that is you have a very incompetent president. Very incompetent. My man can't even finish a sentence. Okay, he shuts off in the middle of a thing and looks around, grabs a microphone, and starts all over fresh like it never happened. There's no way for the other Democrats to compete against them publicly on TV because they're just not going to have it. I think they need to make an exception here. You can't have. I don't care if you're Democratic. I don't care if you're Republican. If our belief system is the same, I don't care what party you're with. I don't. Just typically speaking, though, I side more with Republican than I do Democrat because your shit is whack. But that being said, we've had some tricky dick. As much as he fucked up kind of in the end, he was pretty good. Democrat, wasn't he? In the very beginning? Yeah, the teleprompter broke. We had to reset. We've had good Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, that's a Democrat. He was good. I did not inhale. But he was good. So I'm just saying, what you have in there now is a fucking. That's not even a puppet. That's like a sock puppet. You gotta get that out, and you gotta let other people compete with that. Don't let him run this shit again. So, because a lot of people don't really watch, what you call them, the things where the presidents go to. I want to call them expos, but that's not what they are. They don't watch the. Hold on. Give me a second. So, what is it called? Where they go out and they do the thing and they talk to people? Not debates. You know, where they come on, guys, State of the Union. No, I don't think that's what it's called. It's not debates. Is it the convention where they go up and they talk to the state? Not a lot of people watch those summits, town hall. No, guys. Like where Donald Trump will go talk to New Jersey and Atlantic City. Rallies. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So when they go up there and they do that talk, nobody's gonna watch that shit. Like even if you say, okay, this presidential candidate, whatever, for the Democratic is gonna talk in Oregon, who's gonna tune into that? Just the people from Oregon. No one from California is gonna watch that, and that's even lucky if you get coverage. But if the Democratic side is pushing no debate, and it does make sense because they did the same thing with Trump. So we're being fair across the board. Fine. But let's make an exception to that because you can't have Biden in there rerunning. Look, I love DeSantis. I think he's a fantastic governor. I would hate to see him go for president of the United States. But he needs to go in there and rip Biden apart. Like, you can't have him running again. You might as well have a lemon with a little top hat and a cane on, and that's our president. If you thought that they made fun of us now, or you thought they made fun of us with Trump, you know the type of fucking memes that are going on the internet, even on news channels with Biden? Falling on a bicycle that's not moving? Falling upstairs? You know he ran for president, I think it's 3 other times, definitely 2 other times. And those 2 other times he was caught using fraudulent shit. Those people, I feel like people don't do any research on this. Biden ran 2 other times and he failed those other 2 times. I want to say 3. I know for a fact it was 2 other times and he failed. But somehow people just didn't like Trump, so he voted for Biden. Stupid. That was dumb. And now you're going to vote for him again. Hopefully you learn your lesson with this shitbag of a president. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that for a lot of reasons. I could give you my opinions on that. I have a lot of opinions on that, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for to talk about the Democratic situation of what's going to happen, and and it's going to happen again. You want to mark my words down now? There's that female, man. I can't remember her name. Margaret or something, or Margarine. Old Democrat Margarine from Arizona. There is, I can't remember her name. It starts with an M. I think it's Margarine. Or Marjorie. Majority. Whatever. There you go. Is that her name? I was close. I said margarine. I think that's her name, right? No, that's not her. That's not her. No, 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 no. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get you the name. Democratic 2024 president. Let me see. Starts with an M. Marianne. Wow. I was way off. Holy shit, I was off. I said margarine. Well, so her name is Mary Marianne. That's it. That's who I was thinking of. Um oh, she was independent and then pushed Democrat. Yeah, so that's a better option than Biden. But that's like officially launched. Then you have Robert Kennedy. Is he related to the Kennedys? If he is, it's probably not good that you would get in office. I'm putting it out there. Your family name, whether you are related or not, has a bad situation in has a you have a bad situation in office. It's probably best if you don't run. But they're not going to be able to debate. You know what might end up happening is they pull out. Right? All the money that you're going to spend running your campaign. They're okay, question. I'm going to sound stupid here for a moment. Since they're not having the Democratic debate, right? Are they still going to, like, are those two, Marianne, right, or Margarine, we're going to call her, Margarine and Robert Kennedy, are they going to be able to debate each other? Are they, I doubt it, right? Because they're saying no Democratic debate. So they're not. They're just going to have to do their individual things, and somehow you're going to get on a ballot. So they're going to pull out. You're going to pull out. There's no point. Yeah, there's no point. And then I think for Republican side, you definitely got Trump. They don't know if DeSantis is running. I think you have two, right? You have Nikki Haley. Isn't she going too, or no? Nikki Haley, yeah, she's good. She's good from South Carolina. Mike Pence. Ted Cruz isn't running again. Oh, they got a black man up there, Larry Elder, former conservative media person who first took the plunge when he campaigned to replace Governor Gavin Newsom. Asia Hutchinson, that's a guy's name? Oh, or Asa? Perry Johnson. Cable TV ads in Iowa. Is this for real? Look at these fucking people. Hold on, let me scroll up here. I feel like this is a joke, but it's not. So, this is what we got, right? So you got Trump, we know that. DeSantis, that's up in the air. It's like they're like little cutout stickers. You see this? They're like moving shit when you put your mouse over it. Do a little dance, a little shimmy shimmy Cocoa Puff. So you got Trump, we know that. DeSantis, he'd kick some ass in there, boy. Did you hear the shit that Trump said about DeSantis? Oh my God. Don't even get me started. Where he was trying to call him an alcoholic because he was drinking a beer with a bunch of college people and he was a professor or something. Yeah, don't get me started on that. Nikki Haley, yup, like her name too. Mike Pence, no chance. Ted Cruz, that's funny. Larry Elder, that's the guy that went against Gavin Newsom. That's a dude's name. That's rough. That's got to be Asia, right? Asa? He's the head of CASA. That's what it is. Perry Johnson. You can't be taken seriously if you. Okay. There's the Indian dude, right? Self-funding candidates often tire of spending millions of dollars if they aren't catching on among the electorate. I don't know who that is. Is he related to Mr. Rogers? So, okay. I mean, your best chance is going to be Nikki Haley versus if DeSantis runs. I figure if DeSantis is going to run, you're not going to know for a long time. And you're not going to know for a long time. I mean, sometime this year, September, October. The problem you have with Trump is Trump just did not know when to shut up. Like if you didn't say shit that last 6 months in Twitter and just shut your mouth, you would have had it. You gotta get off the computer, bro. Get off the phone. Like you gotta stop this. You really gotta stop. And you guys remember, I did this shit on YouTube. I remember telling you Trump is not going to win. But it was like, yes, he is. Yeah, no, he's not. He needs to shut up. If you would have just shut off Twitter and just let it go, stop that. And now they gave him back his shit. I don't know if he's using Twitter again. I know he's using YouTube for his videos because I think his Truth Social shit did not work out. I mean, I'm still on it, but it's like a wannabe Facebook, Twitter platform. It's not very good. It's just not very good. Yeah, and that's great. That's great if DeSantis stays in Florida. That's fine. I think he's a great governor. He does great stuff for the state. I think he would do great stuff for this country. Um, I would want to know who's going to replace DeSantis. I remember that I was going to try to run, but when I saw how much money I needed, yeah, that stopped me right in the tracks. Because just like those other people, I'm not those millionaires. You had Kanye West that wanted to run too, remember? He was talking about rerunning for 2024. You realize that, well, after the shit that happened with Adidas, I don't recommend this. You might as well just take a bunch of money, put it in canvas bags, burn it, and throw it over somewhere in the ocean. Because that's basically what you're going to do with your money. Don't bother. Let it go. So if he tries to run, I want to show you guys the video of where Trump talked about. I don't know how I'm going to show. I know how I'm going to show it. Give me a second. I'm going to show you this video of where Trump was talking shit about DeSantis, and man, did it bother me. I'm gonna have to pull it up on hold on. DeSantis would not settle for second place. Man, he posts like crazy. Yeah, Honest Truth Social, he's talking about DeSantis a lot. I don't know why he's trying to smear him if he hasn't even announced his bid to run. Yeah, this is gonna be hard to find, man. I'm sure I showed. I think I showed it on the Twitch or something. Oh, here we go. DeSantis says he won't fight with Trump over Truth Social photos with high schoolers. I don't spend my time trying to smear other Republicans. That was DeSantis' response to it. Because basically he was showing pictures of DeSantis, um, I guess, as a teacher or something, and they all had like beers, but it could have been a root beer, it could have been cream soda, but it was the shape of a beer bottle. And he was saying, "You want this to be your president?" Okay, first off, Mr. Grab him by the pussy, I don't think you should be talking about pictures with other people, okay? I think the last thing you should be worried about is DeSantis. I think what you need to be worried about is Biden. Worry about Biden, right? Because if you win, that's who you're going to have to go against. Yeah, it's all over his Truth Social. If you go on, I don't know if you're on Truth Social, but that's all he's talking about is DeSantis. Where's Ron DeSantis? When's he going to announce? I doubt he is. I have a feeling that he wants to. There's a lot of like different insinuations. He's doing a lot of different things that make it look like he's going to run. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's my live show for today. What are we, an hour deep? Hour deep. Anybody got anything? Questions, comments, complaints? How'd you feel about the stream? Was it too edgy? Did I seem too racist? How's the toe? The toe is good, man. Toe's sensitive as shit. Well, if I will say this, if DeSantis does run, he'll still be governor as he's running. But I think once, if he does get the Republican nomination to run against Biden, I remember seeing something about this where they were doing a law that allowed him to still run. I think up to the main presidential debate, and he could still be governor. Because typically speaking, you still be governor as you're running for president. That's not a problem. It's once you become president, obviously you're not governor anymore. The lieutenant governor takes over, and then whoever gets elected. So, yeah, I remember reading something about them trying to pass a law. So if he does run, it's got a good chance of winning, man. This is the same governor that passed. If there's a riot in the street and you need to go down that street and there's a bunch of people in your way, you just run them over. I mean, you're going to fuck your car up, but you're in my way. No, that can't be true. That can't be true. Once he declares he's running, he has to. No. Bill allows DeSantis to run for president while governor. No, I don't know where you heard that at. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Here. Bill allows DeSantis to run for president while governor. Republican Ron DeSantis would not have to resign as Florida governor in order to run for president if he chooses under a bill given final approval Friday by the GOP-nominated state legislature. The measure attached to a much broader elections bill would carve out an exemption to Florida law requiring anyone who seeks office to resign from one they already hold after qualifying as a candidate. Only an office holder running for U.S. president or vice president would not have to resign. Supporters portrayed the bill as purely a clarification and were not intended especially for DeSantis, who has not yet announced a presidential bid, but is widely expected to declare his candidacy for the Republican nomination in the coming weeks. The bill passed the state House 76-34. Wow. Along party lines now goes to DeSantis, who's expected to sign it into law. And obviously, he's going to sign it into law. It's an individual office that is unique. Yeah, so there you go. So he would not have to resign. So he could, in theory, stay governor and allow him to yeah, that's good. So I'm sure he'll run. I'm sure he will. Probably wait till August, July or August. You all realize that the criminals have seized control of the governments. Criminals? You're talking about political criminals, right? You're not. What do you mean by criminals? Define criminals, please. Be a little bit more specific. You have to be referencing criminals like or don't. It's not important. I think I get what you're saying, is that all politicians are criminals. Regardless, you still have to pick one to win. Whether or not you believe in one. Well, I guess you don't have to vote. You could just, let Biden take it over again. Oh, man. I'll tell you what, if Biden wins again, I feel bad for anybody that is in the Democratic state. I do. I feel bad for anybody that's an American. Anyway. Run with that. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all that are members of this channel. You guys stay beautiful. And if there's another political heated moment, I will put it on the channel. Realist, not the Twitch. The Twitch will be just your normal comedic entertainment, drama, written type of videos. Other than that, you guys all be good. You have a good day. Stay beautiful.